Welcome to Live with LA. It's the 15th show. I cannot believe that we've made it to 15 shows, and it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And to my right is Judy Levy from Meals on Wheels of Trenton, Ewing. But first, let me Mercer County.
Yes,
Mercer County.
Trenton Ewing.
Okay,
no, it's Trenton Ewing.
Okay, and first let me just talk about. I'm now a Trenton resident. I moved into the city on Monday. Now I have one vote, and I'm going to use that vote during the next election, mayor election. And it's not going to be for me. I'm not running for mayor. I'm not running for city council. But I'll tell you, it's great to be living back in the city of Trenton. Friends have been asking why move into the city. I have some very positive feelings about the city. And I think that once we get the right kind of leader, and once we get participation from a lot more residents, and once you start cleaning up the city, it's going to be a wonderful place to live and play and work. Let me say why I moved to the burg. I moved to the burg because it's almost like a newborn baby. Think about your grandfather. Your grandfather is set in his ways. He's going to do things the way that he wants to. Probably your father, too. They're going to do things the way that they want. The burg is like a newborn baby with all these new arrivals, undocumented immigrants, some that are here legally, quote-unquote legally. We can shape them and mold them and instruct them and give them information right from the start. We can help mold and shape their lives and tell them, what we expect of them and those type of things. Your grandfather, you can't change your grandfather. Your grandfather is going to keep doing what he does, whether it's smoking cigars in the living room, putting his feet on the coffee table. He's going to do what he does. A lot of places in Trenton are like your grandfather. 40 or 50 years of mediocrity, 40 or 50 years of unwillingness to participate in this wonderful United States where freedom allows us to do so many things. Freedom allows us to do the number one thing is to get an education. My goodness, education. And a lot of people in the city of Trenton have turned their backs on the education, and we are suffering the results of that. A lot of people that depend on government for their living, for their lifestyles, for their paychecks. There's jobs out there. A lot of people don't want to do them. But guess what? The people I'm living next to, the community I live in, those people are willing to do those hard jobs, do 2 or 3 of those jobs, like our grandparents used to do. I'm so thankful that my mom and dad were willing to work hard. My mom used to scrub floors like a lot of other people, for a lot of white people, I'll say. And I thank her every day for what she did, because she was willing to work hard, knowing that if she kept sending us to Sunday school and to grammar school and to high school, that education would offer a way out. And it does. It offers a way out of whatever situation you're in. We have to beat back poverty, and the way we beat back poverty and all the ills that come with it is through education. Once we grasp that idea, things will get better. But we have a high school, a main high school that graduates 47% of its high school, senior class. Can't do it. This city will never survive with those types of numbers. The Daylight Twilight School, which offers a second chance to kids that dropped out or got in trouble to go back to school, they're graduating 14% of their senior class. You know what that means? If you don't get it right the first time, it's hard getting it right the second or third time. We've got to understand the most important thing that we can do as parents today is to send our kids off to school. And I'm going to tell you, I got a guest coming up. He's a great saxophone player. He's got a fantastic future in music, but I always tell his story. He went to Ewing public schools, and he never missed a day of school. Because if you're present, right, you're there to get the gift of education. Now, I think we should honor any kid that goes to school. Every day, you never miss a day of school. I think that's one of the most remarkable stories I've ever heard in my lifetime. From K through 12, every morning, his parents got him up and sent him off to school. Is it any wonder that he's a success story? Right? That's what education promises you. You're there to get the gift. You can't get the gift if you're not there. It's pretty simple. Get your kids up, give them a little breakfast if you can do it, send them off to school every day if you can do it. Man, think about it. Oh, the flu, the colds. I used to get sick Every time my daughter and son came home from school because they caught something from some kid that was there, I can't imagine, being that kid in Ewing Public School. And I know that he did say that a couple of times he went to school sick, but just a remarkable story. So listen, that's why I'm in the Berg. I'm there to help the newcomers. I'm willing to help those people in those other communities that want to do something with their lives. And if you need me, call me, and I'll show up to any event. But we can't keep throwing energy and time and money into communities where people don't want to participate in this wonderful thing that we call freedom. America, I don't care what the issue is, we're still the greatest country on the planet. We're still the greatest country on Mother Earth. And if you don't believe that, then you need to check out some of the other lifestyles and how other people are living in other communities and countries, because we still got it the best here. Doesn't mean that we're perfect. We've still got a lot of things to work on. But I love being able to worship where I want, say what I want, write what I want, and whether you like it or not. And I know some people don't. I'm going to keep talking about the things that matter. Get an education. And the other thing, clean up in front of your house. My goodness. I saw this cleanup effort the other day. They're cleaning up. And listen, God bless you for trying to help. But they're cleaning up in other people's homes, other people's stoops, other people's houses. Can't happen. Because you know what happens? When other people see you clean up their mess, they keep throwing their mess down there and expect you to come clean it up. Can't do it. You're responsible for your front step, your backyard, and your household. Now, I'll clean up around the tree, and I'll clean up a park, but I'm not cleaning up for your mess, and you looking out the window watching me clean up your mess. Nah, that's way over the top here. So listen, send me a little message, call me, say welcome back to Trenton, LA. I hope you make a difference. Judy Levy, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, LA?
I'm fantastic. I think I said a mouthful. I might need a little break. You're here to talk about Meals on Wheels. I guess you have a couple events coming up?
Yes, we have our 20th annual golf outing on June 7th. It's a Thursday. Come on out and play. It's to help fund our subsidized program here at Meals on Wheels, and we need the help. So
and the event is?
It's a golf outing.
And it's where?
At the Mountain View Golf Course.
The beautiful Mountain View Golf Course.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
And we have lunch and dinner and awards, so there's always door prizes and all that sort of thing. But it should be a lot of fun. Last year we were on one of the hottest days of the summer, and we're hoping for a little bit cooler this year, but it was a great time. And this is, you're seeing our picture from our website, our winning foursome, and they got gift cards to the golf store, so it was a big day for them.
Now, is it a scramble? Do you know what
yes,
it's a scramble,
yeah,
four-man scramble?
Yeah.
Which is always a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. And you know, you see the golfers out there. We also have hole-in-one competitions where if they get there's 4 holes that if you get a hole-in-one on any one of those 4, and you've purchased the ticket for that, you can win up to $5,000.
Wow.
You know, it's a great deal. Our 4 big prizes are $5,000, a cruise for 2, free airfare for 2 anywhere in the United States, or an electronics package. So it's come on out, try for a hole-in-one, and they're the par 3s, so you know, shouldn't be too bad. You know,
I've played golf for almost 30 years. I have 3 hole-in-ones.
Hey, you have 3 more than me. I can barely get one on a putt-putt golf.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be a great time. Let's talk about Meals on Wheels, a little definition of what you do.
Okay, we serve the homebound in Trenton and Ewing. That means people who cannot shop or cook for themselves. That doesn't necessarily restrict it to the elderly. We serve 18% of our clients, which is, we have 174 people on our roster right now. 18% of those are below 60. When you think about that, in fact, one of our youngest is 34.
Okay.
You know, that through some disability, they cannot get out of their home. I mean, they can. Somebody can take them to the doctor or whatever, but they can't cook.
Sure.
It's just basic activities of daily living that they're restricted in, and they need the help. So we bring a meal at lunchtime. They can have either 1, 2, or 3 meals during the day. They all come at one time, though. And it's a great it's a great thing that the meals are brought to them. We have wonderful volunteers who volunteer not only their time but their gasoline to deliver the meals to our
At
clients.
$3.70 a clip.
Yes.
Per gallon.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's a big investment.
Sure.
That is a big investment.
And how many people do you serve?
We serve 174 people. We make about between 175 and 200 meals a day.
Mm-hmm.
The other great thing about our particular program is we're located in the Ark Mercer building.
Mm-hmm.
Ark Mercer, which is the agency that advocates and trains the developmentally disabled,
Right.
their catering program, which is a training program, is called A Touch of Taste, and they make all of our meals.
Sweet.
It's a fabulous collaboration between our two agencies. Any dollar donated or spent at the golf outing goes not only to us to help feed the homebound, but to help train and pay the developmentally disabled.
And where do you get your food from?
That's who we get it from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you,
Ark.
Okay.
The Ark Mercer.
Fantastic
They
stuff.
make all of our food.
Fantastic stuff.
And we have a lot of different groups that help deliver our meals. One of them is the Ark. They
Mm-hmm.
have groups within the Ark and community options and several other organizations like that help deliver.
Now, there's a real value to getting donations too, right?
Absolutely.
And people need to realize that the purchasing power of $1, a lot of times they want to give food or give
Right.
cans or give whatever, but it's best to give money. Money makes is a very powerful unit of currency. It's about 6 to 1, I believe. $1 buys $6 worth of food or whatever. So it's very important that you donate money to support Meals on Wheels, right?
Correct. And not 1 cent goes to waste.
Right.
There is not 1 cent of $1 donated to us goes to a profit agency.
Fantastic.
It's all nonprofit.
And how do people contact you?
They can call me at 609-695-3483. If they want more information on our program, they can go to mowte.org. That's our website. Through our website, they can learn all about our program. They can even register for the golf outing. It's right up front and center. They can donate from the website. They can learn how to volunteer from the website. And we're always in search for new volunteers. With 174 and growing count on our list, we need more and more volunteers to get the food out. It's
a great way to help out. We're going to need more and more people volunteering as we move along. Governments are strapped for a lot of things that they can do, and it's incumbent upon people and residents to help out. We're going to have to help out, and that's the bottom line. Another thing is, the holidays will sneak up on us. Why not, as a family, decide, instead of wasting a lot of money on those gifts that end up tossed in the back of the closet, make a donation as a family to Meals on Wheels or some other organization, and really make a contribution to improving the lives of others. It's a great thing to do. So.
And a great activity for a family is to come and volunteer and help deliver.
Sure.
When you go and deliver a meal to one of our clients, it'll change you. Our volunteers come back. They have smiles on their faces, and they can't wait to go back and see our folks again.
There's no doubt. There's a benefit to helping others. It improves your life.
Absolutely.
Judy Levy.
Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
Ellen. Oh, thank you.
Fantastic stuff. Come on in, Tom. I've said enough about him. Tom Zmuda, how are you?
Doing all right. How are you, Mr. Parker?
Good. I like that. You know that, Mr. Parker. I like that. Just turn in a little bit. You can see all the details how to reach Tom there on the web. On the web there. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Man, you're growing up, man. You're growing up. I remember when your dad was shopping you around in your group Thursday Night Jazz. You guys still together? Not like all music groups. Come on, just tell the truth.
It's tough right now because we're all different parts of the country. Not really, East Coast. You know, the drummer Tommy Hoopmaker, he is at Drexel University right now studying audio engineering. Joel Nygren, our wonderful piano player, he's down studying at the Peabody Institute at Johns Hopkins University, so he's doing big things down there.
And you are?
And I'm up at Berklee College of Music in Boston. So
sweet stuff.
We're all in 3 different cities.
You like Boston?
I love it. It's a great city. It's cold in the winter. Definitely very cold. You got to bundle up, but it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm in a great community of diverse musicians from all over the world and just exposed to so many different art forms and genres of music, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, to be honest.
Awesome
It's such a wonderful experience.
I talked about you not missing a day of school.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool stuff, huh?
One of one of the many things.
Life is good, right?
Yeah, life is great.
Yeah. So you started with this group called Thursday Night Jazz. That was a group of the three guys you mentioned. Well, two guys you mentioned, and you at Ewing High School.
Right. We started actually in Fisher Middle School.
Oh, did you really?
In 7th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when we got the band going.
Oh, cool.
And then we took off that year playing at Commerce Bank in Ewing, New Jersey.
Your debut.
Ewing High School, or the Ewing Township Talent Show, the first annual talent show. That was our first gig.
How was that?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't win, but we decided that night that we wanted to pursue the band.
Did you get that rush?
We got that rush.
Yeah.
Cool. It was everything everyone said it was going to be.
And then you guys started playing everywhere. I mean, I remember going up to Princeton at the kiosk and watching you guys play up there a couple times, and your dad shopped you around and took you guys everywhere. I know you played down in Philadelphia a lot, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On your own.
Right.
Right.
It was definitely thanks to my father. You know, he was definitely a helpful hand in pushing me in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just went to Philly and I started hanging out and met a couple of musicians, and one thing led to another. I started sitting in.
Name some of the people you played with.
Barbara Walker, Barbara D. Mills. I've played with Richard Tucker, fantastic guitarist. I've played with Tim Hudson. I've actually sat in with Marion Meadows, smooth jazz saxophonist there. And Will Brock Jr. He's a fantastic keyboard player and vocalist. And just a number of other fantastic musicians.
I know the producer, Joey Colgan, wanted you to play something, but that you're not going to be able to play, but that's okay. So what are you going to play?
You know, I was thinking about just free playing, just jamming.
I'm going to move out of your way. I'm going to let you, let our listeners watch this kid in action. This guy is phenomenal. Zmuda, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I'm telling you, man. Listen, you're going to hear some great things about this cat. He can play. So, how'd you get interested in playing the sax?
You know,
did you start some other instrument first?
I started on clarinet at Anthill Elementary, and that was 4th grade. And I had the intention to switch to saxophone. I loved the timbre, and actually, my father had always had some jazz records playing around the house. You know, Grover Washington Jr. became my guy.
Can you play something? Go ahead. Yeah, that's phenomenal. I mean,
this was one of the tunes off the album Wine Light that just really got me going.
Okay. like it.
That song will stick with me till the day
I like
die.
it. You know, when he passed away, it was like, my goodness, the world lost one of the great musicians. Just phenomenal stuff. So you started with, you said the clarinet.
And I switched over to sax.
When'd you switch to sax?
5th grade.
Really?
As soon as I could. Yeah. Actually, I studied privately with an instructor at Rider University on clarinet. His name was Jerry Reif, and he was very instrumental in really giving me the fundamental tools and techniques to really kind of excel musically. And he actually called my band director, Bob Apgar, at the time, and not Bob Apgar, sorry, Steve Hudak at Antile, and he yelled at Steve for letting me switch because he thought I was going to be a tremendous clarinet player, and you know, I just love the timbre of the sax.
Right.
But I've actually been picking up clarinet lately, back again.
Is that right?
So, all woodwind players must double at some point in their life. So
you missed a big story while you were away at college. At my church, Eddie Van Halen and Alex Van Halen ended up at church in Trenton on a Tuesday night.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he came there to support this young woman who's a dancer at our church. And my co-pastor called me and says, you know, it's a funny story because he doesn't know anything about Van Halen. So he says, do you know this group called the Van Halens? I said, no, it's Van Halen. And he says, well, they're sitting here in my church. I said, okay, Mark, sure, okay. But he convinced me to come down, and Eddie Van Halen and Alex Van Halen are sitting right in the front row. There's only 20 people in the place.
Wow.
And so I rushed from Florence into Trenton and got some photos with them and stuff. And we're just talking to them and realized that Eddie Van Halen started playing the drums first.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
And and switched from drums to playing guitar.
Wow.
And I was like so surprised. So I got my photos with him and all that, big fan stuff. So I'll get my photo with you too because I think you're going to be a superstar at some point. So what's happening up in Boston? What do you do up there?
Right now, my main thing is I joined up with a wedding band through Wilson Stevens Productions, and the band is called Freestyle. It's run by guitar legend at Berklee College of Music, Sal DeFusco.
Okay.
And he's actually the guy.
Got to be it. You got to see. He's reaching big time stuff. He's plugging people, so you got to do that.
I gotta give the plugs out. Credit is due. So, that is that. I'm also working on an album right now. Okay. And that's gonna be what's gonna consume the rest of my summer and possibly most of the fall semester in recording. It's gonna be my first solo album, and it's gonna be called Requiem. I'm hoping to release it by the end of the year.
Fantastic.
And I'm also playing in a couple funk groups, and jamming on the street. So if you're ever up in Boston, you might see some hip hop drum duo saxophone.
Really?
And
what's that like?
It's
you make any money?
A little bit here and there, but it's not about the money.
Yeah.
It's for the experience of playing in front of people and just getting the reaction and just being able to play and just do it.
You've chosen music, jazz. You play a lot of jazz, right?
I do.
R&B and stuff like that.
R&B and funk, jazz.
That transcends race. I mean, jazz kind of like more than any other music genre, I believe, just accepts music for music, right?
Music is cross-cultural.
Right.
Music is music.
Right. So when you go down to Warm Daddy's and play in Philadelphia, what's that like? They love good music, right?
They love good music.
Right.
And I would go and sit in there every single Sunday night. And Sunday afternoons and Sunday night at Warm Daddy's on Columbus Boulevard. And, oftentimes I'd be the only white person in the club, besides my dad, of course, who would escort me
Big
around.
ups to Jan, too, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Definitely. And it was just the most comfortable experience. It's music. It doesn't matter. You know, at the end of the day.
Well, I hope that you don't stay a stranger. Do make it back, and when next time you're back in town, please come back and play. We would love to have there's some other events going on in the city of Trenton that I think would be great for you to come and perform in. So.
Well, Ewing and Trenton are definitely the two places that got me going, and that's where my home is always going to be.
See, I have this big dream of one day assembling a group of musicians and taking them up to the top of the Battle Monument and letting them play from up top there.
That would be pretty cool.
Wouldn't it?
You want to give me a call?
I will. I think it would be like so cool to have like a concert of just musicians up there and have some speakers around that area and just have people up there playing. I just think that, I come up with all these ideas and then I rarely put them into motion, or sometimes I do. But I think that would be a really cool type of thing to do. So
that would be.
So listen, you got to play one more thing. What else can you play from Grover? Can you play just the two of us? Can you play that? Or
I can play Let It Flow, which is another great.
Fine. And we'll let you take us out with that. And then we have Dan Keelan coming up, talk about Hamilton Township Mayor John Bentonvengo and his big night out coming on June the 5th. Raise $125 per person to his legal defense team. That should be an interesting conversation. Tom Zmuda, take us out. And before you go, I want your dad to come down for a minute. Jan, come down for a minute. Let me tell you something. Let me tell every person, every father out there, you got to love your kids. This guy loves his son. This guy, I'm telling you, he's your promoter, right?
He is.
Father,
number one fan.
Father, promoter, fan, everything. He shopped his young man around, and he let his kid have his dream. And let him chase it, right?
I wouldn't be where I am today without his support.
Mm-hmm.
It's the God honest truth. I wouldn't be anywhere close to where I am today without his support and his enthusiasm and his persistence.
Now, I know that you guys are facing some challenges and some medical challenges in your family. We're going to be praying for Jan. But listen, this thing we call life, we do it a day at a time. None of us are guaranteed anything. We come and we go. We live by seconds because the phone rings and someone's passed. That's how we live. So all of you people putting your eggs in some basket in the future, you better think about just living today and doing something good for someone else today, because you're not guaranteed the next minute. And so Mr. Zmuda, we appreciate everything you did for your son. And I know that he loves you tremendously. And Father's Day is coming up. And for all those fathers that do everything that your fathers are supposed to do, we appreciate you. For those fathers that aren't, let's get moving. All right? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
You guys take care. Yep.
You too.
Be in touch, all right? I'll hit you up on your website, all right? Dan Keelan, what's happening? What isn't happening?
I don't know. Nice to see
I'm well.
I hate to say it, but that's a hard act.
It's good stuff, isn't it? The guy is going places, I'm telling you. Wonderful stuff. Let me say one more thing about fathers. UIH Family Partners is getting ready to have its annual event, Platinum Dads. We celebrate dads who are doing the right thing. If you don't have any money to give towards your child, then give your time. Time is more important than anything. Give your time. Listen, you had them. You made them. You got to get them through to 18. Get them to school. Make sure they're going to school. Make sure you show up, as much as you can, and be a father. That's what you got to do. So Dan Keelan, we've been in touch over the past couple of days. Hamilton Township Mayor John Bentonvengo is having a June 5th fundraiser.
Reportedly.
Reportedly. I see. Reportedly. To raise some money for his defense against an FBI allegations that he committed. What are the charges?
Extortion, bribery.
I thought you might know.
Just off the top of my head.
First, your position in the Democratic Party in Hamilton Township.
I am the communications chairman for the Democratic Club in Hamilton Township. And I'm also a former candidate for council.
What do you do? So what is your job entail? I mean,
as a chairman,
yes.
Basically, messaging. We're the opposition party in Hamilton Township. So when the township the Republican-controlled township makes a policy decision or puts something forward, if we're in opposition to it, we make sure that we communicate why we're in opposition to it.
We had a great headline a couple weeks ago, "Blood in the Water." I thought it was tremendous because as politics go in Hamilton Township, this is an opportunity for Democrats.
Unfortunately, it is, but yes.
I mean, the circumstances are unfortunate, but the reality is, whether this was Hamilton Township or Peoria, you're going to jump at this opportunity to say, "Hey, you got the wrong guy."
Yeah, but if you think about it, I mean, I think the facts will bear out. The Democrats in Hamilton Township did not jump on this issue as soon as it came out.
And wise on their part. I thought strategically it was the best thing to do.
Right. I mean, we were waiting for the people in position to do the right thing. I mean, candidate Christie. I mean, he's been quoted as saying, when you're under this cloud, you should step aside. Mm-hmm. But Governor Christie has not said a thing. Township Council in Hamilton has yet to put together a unified message leading on this issue. Mm-hmm. So, we waited to see who was going to lead on this. They didn't. We're filling that vacuum, and we didn't jump on it, like I said earlier. We didn't jump on it right away.
There was no need to. I mean, in terms of if there's such a thing as playing politics, this was a situation I thought where you just sit back and watch the fur and dust fly. I thought it was important that County Executive Brian Hughes said complimentary things about John, but I think that he knows what cards he had in his hand. So why come out and beat up on somebody that the feds are going to beat up anyway? So it's good to. It's kind of like watching a traffic crash scene. There's no reason to do anything except watch the scene.
It's a good analogy. It's a good analogy.
But you're not going to say that you're not jump in and say yeah, that's what we did. So let's talk about this alleged fundraiser at Spigola's, right?
Yeah, Spigola's up at 1:30.
What was your immediate response or feelings when you heard about it?
Well, personally, I initially thought, well, he's entitled. I mean, he faces a huge hurdle in terms of dollars. He's entitled to that. But when I saw the invitation and said Mayor John Bencivengo, mm-hmm. I was deeply concerned because that connotates, almost a government mm-hmm. official position or event. And then when you think more deeply about it and you understand that this is not within the New Jersey Election Enforcement Commission guidelines, anybody could step up and contribute $125 or more mm-hmm. To this effort without being named, right. without being identified. And we don't know, not just Democrats, but the Republicans, the taxpayers of Hamilton Township, they don't know if people vying for business within the township mm-hmm. are contributing to this, and they will never know unless John Bencivengo is magnanimous and releases these names. We don't know if they're existing vendors vying for additional business mm-hmm. Or people who are in the process of vying for business.
Okay, but once you send somebody over there, buy a ticket and go over there and see who's there. And then you'll have some of the answers that you'll need.
Where's the $125?
I don't know. Get Tom Zmuda to go out on some Hamilton street, and he'll raise $125 in about 10 minutes.
I'll lend him the hat. I'll give you the hat.
But aren't you interested in who's going to show up?
Yeah, very interested. And I want it to be above board. I mean, it's one thing if it's family and friends, mm-hmm. and obviously he has supporters in that arena. And he has political supporters, but it's a real concern that potentially people who will go unidentified will be there that are trying to or have influenced or potentially will influence Hamilton Township policy and contracts.
Should Mayor Bencivengo step down?
I believe Mayor Bencivengo should resign. So does candidate Christie. So does State Senator Linda Greenstein and Assemblyman Dan Benson.
But you're starting to name a whole lot of Democrats. Right.
Elected Democrats.
Okay.
But Governor Christie, candidate Christie said it. He's a Republican. Mm-hmm. Why isn't he coming out and saying it? There is no leadership. Now, 3 people on council have said, very weakly, in my opinion, that he should take a leave of absence. But what happened the other week? I mean, he's a distraction. to this township, and he a business person wanting to do business in Hamilton Township really would have to be hesitant.
So do you think he's chasing away business?
I think he is, and what happened last week at a Hamilton partnership meeting when everyone was there and asked to introduce themselves, as it was reported in a variety of papers in Politicker, New Jersey. Hi, I'm John Pensavengo, fugitive. I mean, that's incredible. He's making light of the situation.
I think so.
And if you were a business person looking to do business in Hamilton Township, and you sat in front of the Hamilton Township mayor, and he introduced himself that way, how would you react as a business person? So taking it lightly, making a joke of it, and he's not literally a fugitive, but it's a questionable perspective on his part about what is taking place.
What did you think about the sworn statement that the council asked him to swear that he's capable of doing the job? What do you think of that?
You want a pinky swear? It's as valid as this. He wrote a letter to council in March of 2010 declining a pay raise, and it was unconditional, unequivocally. Declined getting it. He wanted his directors to get it. Guess what? He got the pay raise anyway.
Right.
After declining. So it's as valid that affidavit is as valid as that letter.
I thought it was so funny when Suleiman, the Trentonian reporter, showed me the sworn statement. I think the second sentence was he had an answer of no. It's wow. Is this going to interfere with you doing your job? No. Okay. Thanks for showing up.
A man of little words. Tiny words.
You've been very critical. You were very critical of Council Vice President Kelly Yeadie.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. She should be coming out and saying resign to John Pensavengo. But she's been a political ally, a long time. I mean, she's supported all the fee increases he's placed in Hamilton Township. She's supported his pay raise in the first reading of that resolution. She has stuck by him when he said that we've reduced spending in Hamilton Township, and has backed up that claim. When you go and look at the numbers, we spend $20 million more annual in Hamilton Township than we did in 2007. $20 million more. How do you say that that's reduced spending? So yeah, I'm critical of Kelly for that level of support.
I think you said in the recent statement that she should have said more than "I'm not going to attend this event."
Yes, she should condemn the event, specifically the fact that he used mayor, and specifically that these donators do not have to be, and he has said, as far as I understand the situation, that he will not be revealing.
I will tell you this: I have a little wager with someone. It's pizza dinner at Papa's, one of the greatest pizza places in the city of Trenton, and the bet is that more than 200 people will show up.
Really?
Yes, that's my take on it. Do you think that many?
I don't know.
Would you be surprised if 200 showed up?
Yes.
Okay. 200. I mean, that's nothing. That's
200. Well, that's a couple hours of attorney's fees.
But listen, this is an opportunity to say, you know what, John, we support you. You make a name by being loyal, right?
Right.
I mean, loyalty counts for something. And I just think that there's going to be, just the fact that someone came up with this idea, I think there's going to be at least 200 people there. I'd be surprised if there's not.
We'll see. We'll see whether I don't know. Are they taking reservations that day?
I called it over yesterday. They didn't act like they really want to be the part of it, but that was my take on it. So
I understand they haven't even confirmed that the event's taking place there. So
I'll just tell you, the person that answered the phone wasn't too happy about my interest and my questions, but I think Bob Moulet is handling all this, and we haven't contacted him. Is Hamilton ready for a third party? It seems as if this might get, the Democrats fail, and then everyone says, or people say, well, let's let the Republicans, not that John won by a landslide, let the Republicans try. And then if the Republicans screw up like this, then they say, let the Democrats try. Is it time for that party, that person that says, you know what, we're about the people, not the party?
I don't think so. I mean, if you look nationally, even, and there was an article printed on CNN.com about why third parties fail. And that effort to get a third-party candidate for the president just failed after raising $95 million. I don't think so. I think they split the vote between the two dominant parties, the Republicans and the Democrats. It's unfortunate that the perception is in Hamilton Township that it takes scandal to overturn the party in power. But I'm going to go back 5 years, and I'm going to say that there wasn't scandal.
No, but there was not outright honesty. I think Glenn loses because he's not upfront about the $5 million deficit. Don't you?
I think that he made a tactical error in not talking about that. Yeah, I agree with that, and I agree it was $5 million too, instead of the reported $16 million. So
I just think I think people appreciate honesty and truthfulness, and I think that's bigger than whatever they have to be honest about. I just think that the one thing you can't give up is being viewed as an honest person. And even if my friend jokes around when we step on the first tee to play golf, he says, "I want everybody to know that I cheat." Well, you know, he gets big points. He gets big points for being honest. But the other part, you know, there is something about being honest.
There absolutely is. Yeah, and there's things you can do at the ordinance level in Hamilton Township and any township to ensure that type of transparency and honesty. Yeah, it always comes down to the person. You're absolutely right. And nobody's going to vote for a politician who says, "Hey, I cheat." So they all vote for a politician who says, "I'm honest," and then
they realize that they cheat and lie. But
there's a lot of things at the ordinance level you can do in terms of how you contract with vendors and bid thresholds and how you hire. So there's a lot of things that can be done at that level to ensure more integrity within the county.
Is there an issue? I wrote a story a couple weeks ago about Mr. Angarone, Phil Angarone, who works for Birdsall, getting contracts over $100,000 worth of contracts in Hamilton Township, and his uncle or nephew, whatever the connection relative, is the economic development director or whatever title Michael has. Is there an issue there?
Not that I'm aware of. From what I understand, that's a very separate issue from Hamilton Township.
No, I mean in terms of how contracts are dispensed to family members. I mean,
I don't know enough about that issue, but I will say that comparison shopping in Hamilton Township takes place. Looking at, well, is this contract in line with what Lawrence paid or Ewing paid or whomever paid? Yeah, it's good. Okay, you know, we're within the threshold. I don't think that's appropriate.
So even the perception, and that's what I tell people in Hamilton Township, I'm not saying that it's illegal. I'm saying that the perception is they're steering contracts toward his relative. And I think there's an issue there. I mean, listen, if this were Trenton and Tony Mack was steering, or people were steering contracts toward his relatives, we would be having a fit. And people that challenge the mayor about everything would be going crazy about this. It's like Hamilton Township, no big deal. It's what we do here. And I just don't accept it. I think it looks very bad that this is occurring. I just do. The other issue I have, I don't think it's in the best interest of Hamilton Township that you have a Republican mayor, all Republican council members. I think that it's a culture of potential problems because you'd start doing things for party and not for people.
Yeah, agreed. I agree. It's more about party than it is about policy, and policy needs to be the overriding factor, and policy needs to be geared towards quality of life and responsible spending within government. And so, and you said the word several times, perception. Why would you allow that perception to even appear?
Exactly.
Why not put together and put into place ordinances that require you to act in a specific manner that will not allow those perceptions to come up? And you know.
And you see, what happened in Birdsall? They float a little $16,000 contract on the one council. And it just flies through. Nobody says anything.
Right.
And everybody knows the connection between the Angarones. And then the next thing you know, there's a meeting and they get 3 contracts in one night worth of over $100,000. We got ourselves an issue.
That's a problem. And you know what? Each of those are underneath the bid threshold.
Mm-hmm.
I think cumulatively, if one vendor is going to cumulatively get X amount of dollars that are above the threshold, whether it's 3 contracts, 4 contracts, 5 contracts, that vendor needs to be treated differently.
Exactly.
And because that, again, back to perception.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you put in place ordinance-wise to prevent?
Exactly. And here's the other thing. And the Angarones have a real history of being in political power amongst the Republican committee.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we got an issue. I mean, listen, I know the raid on Birdsall had nothing to do with Hamilton, at least from the reports. But what was uncovered there, I don't think anybody knew the connection between Birdsall and Hamilton Township, the Angarones and Hamilton Township, and some other employees that left Birdsall and now have positions with Hamilton Township.
Council promised that they would review those contracts. I have yet to see anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So they promised that they would, just for propriety's sake, they would look at this, and they better step up and look at it and talk about what they have found.
Are you interested in who shows up for the banquet on June 5th or the alleged banquet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Will you be there? See, we
not as a guest. No.
We were thinking we should do like a red carpet and say, well, look who's coming in, and what are you wearing tonight, John? I'm wearing, whatever. But it's interesting times in Hamilton Township. It's funny. I think the story's kind of like lost a little of its energy.
I think people are waiting for the U.S. Attorney's Office to do what it needs to do and let the process play out.
You saw our story about how the feds rarely lose.
98.1%, I think.
100%
on Hobbs.
I'm betting on the feds. I'm not stupid. It's like, I couldn't bet on the Miami Heat. Everybody told me the Miami Heat were shoo-ins, but I won't bet on them. But listen, I'm betting on the feds, and it's unfortunate what's going on in politics in both Hamilton and Trenton. I'll say that. We need new leaders. We need responsible leaders. We need good government people and not politicians, because politicians will say anything to get reelected. That's what they do. Real leaders make tough decisions, say, you know what, if I lose, then I lose. And then we just move on. But politicians plot and plan to stay in power. And once they're out, they plot and plan to get one of their people in to stay in power. There's always behind the scenes players in Hamilton, Trenton, wherever, and they're still in power. Unfortunately, I don't think this council, and I suggested that they all should resign. And if the people want them to come back, then they'll elect them back. But I think that this whole event has tainted politics in Hamilton Township, and those people who are in positions of power should just step down and let the people decide about their future. Dan Keelan. My pleasure.
Pleasure is mine.
Listen, since you're still here, Tom, can you take us out? I know it's not like a guitar player like Pup. You need all this time to set up, but we would love to hear one more number, and
you want to get out of the
and you can, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
all right, take care of yourself. Dan Keelan. Tom Zmuda, if you've been watching and listening, a local Ewing High School talent, and he's going to take us out. Pup, we'll get you next week. All right? Tom is setting up his machine there.
Too many pieces to put together.
Listen, man, appreciate it. We'll let this be the last word, all right?
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Tom Zmuda. We'll see you next week, live with LA. Take care.
Thank you.